Well, before you became a mother, what did you expect motherhood to be like? Did you think that it would not be half as hard?
I think sometimes every time when we think about becoming a mother, we only think about buying the baby cot, buying toys, carrying them once in a while.
Furnishing the nursery.
Yes. But people don't tell you, that it's a lifetime commitment. With spouse, the spouse is able to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
So it's a commitment that I will be there for you. But when you have kids, right, you have to bathe them. On days that you don't feel like attending to them, you have to. It's a lifetime commitment. So I think no preparation will be sufficient. You can never fully be prepared. It's just like marriage, they say.
Yes. You never know what you're going into until you go into
Correct. You think of marriage, you think of the nice diamond ring, saying yes at the altar, the wedding, but people don't prepare you for quarrels.
Yeah.
On days that you don't feel like sleeping with each other, you don't feel like looking at each other,
Right. You still have
how do you struggle with that? How do you deal with that?
So during challenging moments, who do you think of, or who do you look up to as your inspiration or your role model? Maybe could be motherhood or just a woman in general. Who do you look up to keep you going?
In my field, people who are my age and having young children, will be Nurul Izzah. And we always exchange notes, because the rest, I have other friends, MPs and assemblymen who are men who also have young kids. But I think when it comes to motherhood, I think it will be Nurul Izzah and Teo Ching, who probably understand what I go through. But when it comes to being a parent, I really look at my God. How perfect a father he is, and how that unconditional love can come out so strong and so reassuring. Sometimes, when we are frustrated, we even throw our tantrum at the children. I express my anger.
Yes.
And I think that's so different with our God. So he is really a role model for me. And definitely when it comes to parenting, I think my husband is one of the key person who will correct me and tell me, hey, we have to do this for our kids. Between your career and your kids, sometimes we need reminding, because sometimes when you have deadline and when you're really stressed, it's not easy to differentiate it so clearly.
Sometimes we feel that our family will always be with us.
Correct.
But now we have this deadline to chase.
Yes.
So it gets tough. Well, but despite all the struggles and all the difficulties, what would you say is the best reward for you to be a mother?
I think when that joy of playing with your children, I think is priceless lah. I think I think that's the most rewarding thing. Just being with them.
Nice. So what would your advice be to fellow mothers who are probably juggling career and trying to keep their sanity at the same time? What would your advice be to them?
Don't feel bad about getting help from people, because no one can do it all. I think it's almost impossible to excel both at work and also at home without getting help. So if you can afford it, get a maid. So I have given up. I think by now I wanted to try without a maid, but now it's really challenging. So I've applied for a maid, and I'm waiting for a maid to come and help me with the housework. So get help.
Okay. What about fathers? Because I know we always think about, usually when you talk about parenthood, the first person you think of is the mother, because the mothers normally struggle more, or so we feel. But what about the fathers? Because I'm sure some of them are not having it easy as well. So what would your advice be to fathers?
I think for fathers, I think their first instinct would be to protect the kids. And it's really difficult in an environment like this in Malaysia, where people don't feel safe on the streets. So the fathers are juggling with rising cost of living, having to work and also protect the kids at home to make sure that they're safe. So I don't know how to advise the father, because I really don't know that kind of the weight that they carry. But I can only say that if you need help, I think you need to find from your faith. Find God to help, because I think only when you have children, right, you realize how helpless you are. So I know as a parent you want to provide for your kids, but there are moments when your kids are sick, right? And despite going to see the doctors, your kids are still sick. In those moments, that helplessness, you really have to rely on someone bigger than you, and that's why I think no one should do parenting without God, because it's just almost impossible and difficult.
Yeah. How important would you say the relationship between the spouses is when it comes to parenting?
I think the kids will be able to pick it up if father and mother are quarreling. I've seen that when my husband and I, when we quarrel, the stress that is on the child, even though the child cannot speak, she was a toddler. I remember one time we had a very intense quarreling, and it's frightening for the kid, I know. And so for husband and wife, you really need to work on your relationship for the sake of your kids. And I know this is really difficult, but try not to quarrel in front of your children. Because we as children, we know the impact when our parents quarrel
really
before us. Yes. So the same with our kids. And I think there are scars that they will carry with them even when they grow up, and that can have an impact on their growing up years, and it can impact them on who they are, eventually. Whether she turns out to be a fearful person or a confident person, that really has a lot to do with parenting. So I think, we cannot afford to make too many mistakes when it comes to things that can have an impact on them, on the kids, on growing up. Because I've been in ministry before in church, and I know the kind of work that is involved in trying to help someone come out of a fearful past or a bad childhood. There's a lot of work to be done.
Especially when the children are young.
Correct.
They don't really know what's going on. So what would you say, okay, one last question, what would you say is your dream to achieve in life, or maybe in the next 5 years?
I think for me in life, I want to be able to provide the best education for my children, set them out on the best platform I can provide for them, and at the same time, it will be really, really satisfying if my kids do not resent me. Sometimes you can provide the best education, but you're not there for them, and that whatever you give to them means nothing to them. I'm sure you have seen rich children who resent their parents for not having time with them. So that will be my aim, actually, to be able to provide the best for them, but at the same time, for them to be happy with me and not resent me.
Well, I'm sure you'll be a great mom. I'm sure you're already a great mom, just based on listening to you.
Trying my best, yeah.
That'd be good. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you.